morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. I'm just giggling here for a second, looking at all of you that sign on. It's the way Oprah was, right? It was appointment viewing and people would grab whatever they were drinking or they were just coming home, maybe from work, the kids coming from school, and you'd sit down to watch Oprah. Well, I love the fact so many people have said that we've become that for them, bringing positivity to the world, and you are all ready to go, grabbing your coffee or tea or whatever you have today. We're still trying to get them on as a sponsor. I've got bubbly on. Jim brought this home for me. Blackberry bubbly. That's what I popped open this morning to get ready to get started for the show. So a lot of you already on, ready to say good morning to the community that has formed here over the last year and a half. We're having a blast. We are in studio every other Wednesday with Jennifer Warmann-Bloss from Elemental Esthetics. Today, some very interesting things to talk about. So, many of you might have been on or are on Monjauro, Ozempic, semaglutide, something like that, and you are really, really happy with how your health has changed. Maybe it's from a diabetic standpoint, or you have literally tried everything, and then this started to kick that metabolism into gear. You're happy with weight loss, but what about your muscle loss? And that's one thing that we've been talking a lot about and hearing about in the news. So today we're going to talk about a device that says it stimulates muscle building. This is going to be interesting. Also, everywhere I look lately, I'm seeing things about pelvic floor exercises from all the influencers on Instagram. Well, today we're going to talk about a device that helps with those pelvic floor issues. And I've been mentioning the Dermapen, a new microneedling device. All of that we'll talk about today with Jennifer, and gift cards. Don't forget about yourself when you're buying gift cards for others on your list. But before we get to her, we're going to give you some news you can use. We've got a couple of follow-up stories. We've got some fun stories, and we've got sports stories for you as well. But as we get closer and closer to Christmas, how is it going to look weather-wise? Let's first kick off with our weather. So some of you might be heading out, and if you were in the early drive, you may have noticed that the roads were still a little wet. No more rain, but it was the humidity coming off the roads that was causing a lot of that. Mid-40s for our high in our Missouri, Illinois area today, getting into the 20s, so it will be cold tonight. 48 for a high tomorrow, 28 again for the low. We head into the weekend, and it is going to be cold. Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the mid to upper 30s, maybe hitting 40 by Sunday. And then we get closer to Christmas next week. We do have rain, not snow, but rain heading into Christmas Day. So 40% chance of rain on Monday. Christmas Eve, for all of you going out in your activities in the evening, we do have a slight chance of rain. We'll see how that looks as we get closer to the day, but 47 for the high. And then on Christmas Day, when Santa arrives, 51 degrees. He better shut off some of those layers. He's going to be sweating. 53 on Thursday with a slight chance of rain. And then that following weekend, we look like 52. So those 50s are definitely sticking around. All right, at 7:04, let's follow up with a couple of stories that we told you about yesterday. The whole world talking about the school shooting that took place in Madison, Wisconsin. We start with the follow-up to that this morning. Authorities are now looking into the motive. They're not giving a lot of information about it, but they are talking about the possibility of bullying. And isn't that what we hear? Every time we hear about a school shooting, bullying many times is a factor behind the mindset of the person who did the shooting. So we'll follow up with, we'll start with that one for this morning. Again, it was in Madison, Wisconsin. If you did not hear that yesterday, the motive for the shooting that killed a teacher and a student and wounded others at that Wisconsin school appears to be a combination of factors, according to the police chief. It was at Abundant Life Christian School. The investigation, of course, continues. They say, and I quote, identifying the motive is our top priority, but at this time it appears that the motive is a combination of factors. They were looking into the shooter's online activity and, again, looking into bullying. Well, police are also investigating what happened at the Hot Shots in South County, the bar and grill in South County on Monday night. Officers say the shooting happened just before 8:30 p.m. at the Hot Shots on South Lindbergh, right there near Lemay Ferry. The victim was taken to a local hospital, but now the prosecuting attorney's office has charged 36-year-old Kyle Tweedy with first-degree assault and armed criminal action. He was arrested on scene, being held on a $200,000 cash only, no 10% bond. A probable cause against him, says surveillance video captured a lot of the incident. They said he had a gun on him, according to the statement. That is the alleged, that's the allegation, again, from the statement. So those are the two follow-up stories from yesterday. Now, let me get into what I enjoy more, but I do want to always give you follow-up stories. But I enjoy more telling you about the positivity. One of my all-time favorite things to do in news was to cover this particular day. It's called Exodus. Have any of you been at Lambert Airport when all of the soldiers are going home? It is so beautiful to see. And today, when I looked into this last night, it is saying that today is the Army Exodus event. The James S. McDonald USO, located in Terminal 1 of the airport across from baggage carousel M6. The USO serves the military visitors who have an official ID. So if you are at Lambert today, or if you have somebody that's flying out, maybe text them and ask them if they're seeing a lot of soldiers. If you do, please do us a favor. Tell them, first of all, thank you. And secondly, tell them Merry Christmas, or maybe Happy Hanukkah, or Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays. Yesterday we said Happy Honda Days. Whatever, let's just do one fell swoop and take care of everybody. But yes, you should see a lot of soldiers as they get a chance to go home for the holidays. And I hope it's the same type of hero welcome and thank you as they got when I went on the U.S. Honor Flight, which was just a handful of months ago. And I knew about this back then, but I wasn't able to say anything. Well, now on their website, there is a heartfelt thank you going out to Southwest Airlines for their generous donation of 30 tickets to support the first ever, you ready for this? Women of Valor Honor Flight. On June 12th next year, they will honor female veterans from the St. Louis area with a truly unforgettable day of honor featuring special guests. They will have inspiring speakers, but now they need your help. Help them find these heroines. Do you know a female veteran who served during World War II, the Korean War, or during the Vietnam era? Please encourage them to apply for their honor flight at gslhonorflight.org. And Hannah just dropped that in the moderation for us. I was on the last honor flight. We took this beautiful picture, and as you can see there on the left, if you look closely in the front row, there's a man there in the red jacket. That's the best way to identify. If you're looking at the picture directly on, right next to him in the right, in the black jacket, was the only woman that was on that Greater St. Louis honor flight, and her name was Dolores. Loved her. She had such an incredible personality. Well, she was representing the women, but again, one woman amongst all of those men. Now, can you imagine that entire picture being women? I love this, and I hope we are able to find all those heroines. Again, gslhonorflight.org. Well, Walmart, they're testing something that I think Target and I believe that Home Goods has already done, putting body cameras on their employees. Now, this is for many reasons, one of which has to do with safety, but the other is to cut down in shoplifting. They're testing these cameras on some of their store employees, and it comes after some of its locations have experienced shootings and other violent incidents. While we don't talk about the specifics of their security measures, they say we are always looking at new and innovative technology used across the retail industry. It's a pilot that they're testing, and they will evaluate the results before making any long-term decisions. Okay, what's going to happen with all of your gifts? Will this affect you? There is a looming strike by Amazon workers. Now, the closest I have found to a facility in our area is Chicago, and then also New York, and then California. Right now, they're saying that it won't affect the shipping aspect. However, the members of the Teamsters Union has authorized a strike at 3 Amazon facilities, and they include Staten Island, New York, the warehouse which became the first location where employees voted to join a union back in 2022. So Queens, New York, and Skokie, Illinois, that's a Chicago suburb. Strike authorization votes, by the way, are often approved, even if the union members never actually go on strike. All right, I believe you're going to love this one. Have you ever seen this in the news? Light Up Glennon. So you would hope that all the young kids would be able to be home around their own tree for Christmas. But as we know, that's not always the case. There are sick children in the hospital. And yesterday, they were lit up by what they saw outside their windows. Holiday cheer growing ever brighter with the annual Light Up Glennon event. It was held yesterday. Hundreds of people, as you can see right outside that window, showed up to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, flashlights in hand, lighting up the hospital. Oh, I'm getting teary-eyed and I got chills right now as they sang Christmas carols to them. The Grinch actually even made an appearance, claiming a fire truck ladder and spreading some holiday cheer. Again, it's all part of the hospital's Tree of Hope giving campaign. How beautiful is that? And even if you can put just a small smile on their face as they're going through what they're going through, them and their parents. Mega Millions, the jackpot is even higher. No one matched all the numbers last night, so it's going higher and higher and higher. The numbers that were drawn were 56, 66, 67. I mean, this is crazy. 68, 69, and the Mega Ball was 18. I only gave those numbers today because isn't that kind of crazy? Like, didn't they shake it up well enough? 66, 67, 68, 69. That's kind of nuts. Nobody won the jackpot in the drawing, but there were 5 tickets that matched 5 numbers for prizes of at least $1 million. So do check those tickets. Those tickets, if you have somebody that lives maybe in Louisiana, Oklahoma, or North Carolina, you might want to tell them, hey, we're distant cousins. Help me out of that $1 million that you're getting. The estimated jackpot now for the December 20th drawing is at $825 million. Crazy. Okay, Taco Bell. We're used to getting Mexican-inspired meals, right? Tacos, burritos, chalupas, enchiladas. Chicken nuggets? Yep, that is the newest item. A little spicy, by the way. They're stepping away from their Mexican-inspired cuisine to start offering chicken nuggets. Now, it is for a limited time. So here's the deal. The chicken is going to be marinated in a zesty jalapeno buttermilk, then coated in tortilla chips and breadcrumbs. They're introducing new dips for the nuggets, also including a tangy signature Bell sauce, a jalapeno-infused honey mustard, and a spicy ranch. They admit nugget loyalty runs deep. You probably get yours by, McDonald's or Wendy's or Chick-fil-A, but the chain is working to expand the poultry portfolio as younger eaters prefer chicken over beef. Is that true? The chicken nuggets will be available starting December 19th. All right, parents, have you ever done this? If you don't behave, I'm canceling Christmas. Sounds like the Grinch, doesn't it? Well, evidently there's a new study out saying that 1 in 4 parents are doing just that, threatening to cancel Christmas. According to a new study by C.S. Mott Children's Hospital, 1 in 4 parents say they're doing this, saying, we're not buying any presents unless you kids correct your misbehavior. However, they say, watch out, because if you don't actually follow through, then those kids will never, ever believe you. The survey looked at 725 parents who have at least one child aged 1 to 5 years old. All right, folks. And in sports news, the Devils unfortunately beat our St. Louis Blues. Final score was 4-1. They are off tonight. They're back in action. They will have the face-off against the Lightning tomorrow at 6. And I just want to throw this in. I was looking at some stories about Patrick Mahomes. He says he hopes that he will be able to play in the game on Saturday. That game, by the way, is at noon, and they will be playing the Texans. He had that, of course, that high ankle sprain, so he's now week to week, but he is hoping that he'll be back. I just hope that they're able to make sure that he's 100% ready to go, because we need him to get into the Super Bowl, right? All right, it's 7:14. That's it. You're all up to date. Good morning to all of you that have been signing on. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. To all of you that are watching day in and day out, I thank you. Make sure that you follow, you subscribe, so you get that notification when we go live. We right now are on Facebook, we are on X, and we are on YouTube. Okay, tomorrow, by the way, we'll also add Instagram, Rumble, as well as LinkedIn. So good morning to all of you friends. Yes, I didn't see any questions that we need. Thank you to Hannah. She's at home moderating for us. Thank you to Zach and Michelle here in the studio for us, getting us ready for our guest, Jennifer Warmann-Bloss. She's with Elemental Esthetics, and we're going to do some health talk. She'll be in the blue chair when we return. Why don't we grab some friends and family and sit by a toasty fireplace and enjoy the holidays? Where should we do that, Michelle?
Ooh, I don't know. How about a lovely place in Defiance called Sugar Creek Winery?
Right there, live December 28th, we will be doing a mobile Monica for you. But the entire day is going to be a blast from noon to 6 p.m. Great wine.
Yes.
Great food. great music. More importantly, I love history and sitting down and thinking 30 years ago, the dream and the progression. We're going to do all of that. What are you most excited about?
I'm excited about finally winding down after the holidays.
Right?
Because it is going to be crazy, crazy, crazy.
Well, kind of. We're going to be between the holidays.
That's true. This is true. But the Christmas holidays tend to be a little bit busier in my household.
So Christmas to New Year's, right smack dab in the middle. We're going to sit down with some friends and family. And I want to see you. She wants to see you. We want to meet some of you for the very first time. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We would love for you to be here. Some giveaways galore as well. Sugar Creek Winery and Judgment Tree Distillery. Do you know you can have vodka and brandy? And the distillery is right here on the property. So come join us. We can't wait. We're going to toast you together. Sugar Creek Winery, The Real Monica Adams Show. We're collaborating December 28th. Can't wait to see you. And welcome back. I do hope you'll be there. By the way, for a lot of you that are on our website and you ask for notifications when we're doing fun things, you probably got the email blast talking about that. It does say RSVP. You don't have to. It really just allows us to pass along to Sugar Creek Winery how many people are coming. But if you already told me, I did pass it along. However, it would be great for you to just click that. Marilyn, by the way, I know that you're bringing 9 people, but if you want to RSVP for us, that way Sugar Creek can see that. But yeah, if you don't RSVP, you can still show up. It doesn't mean that you're paying anything for a reserved seat. You're going to buy your own food and buy your own drinks that particular day. RSVP is, again, just kind of giving us a notice so that they know how much food to get. They're hoping a big turnout. All right, everyone, welcome in. Thank you for being on the show this morning. So our lovely guest that you see every other week is back with us, Jennifer Warmann-Bloss with Elemental Aesthetics. How are you?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and all the, yeah, we said that yesterday. What do you say to everybody? Do you say Merry Christmas? I do. But then if they come back and say Happy Holidays.
I say Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy
Whatever,
Hanukkah.
yeah.
Exactly, just one fell swoop. In the mood. So last time you were here, I don't think we were decorated for Christmas,
No,
were
you
we?
look great.
Yes, all
Ooh, I
ready
love
to
it.
go. Are you ready for the holidays?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, I'm hoping all my packages arrive, you know.
I know. Well, they're saying the Amazon looming strike is not going to affect shipping, but
Okay.
we shall see.
Yeah.
Amazon's been showing up a lot at our house and all of your
Yeah.
houses, I'm sure, as well. Are you done shopping?
I have to do stockings still.
Stockings? Mm-hmm. I was running around yesterday. I have all the wrapping to do. So is your wrapping done?
Oh, no, we don't have
Okay,
the
good.
wrapping done.
I don't feel
and
too
actually,
far behind.
my kids got delayed coming home for Christmas. We don't even have our tree up yet.
Okay, then I don't feel bad. I just put
we
mine.
usually do that together, and
Yeah.
we were waiting for them, and
So you're going to do that now?
yeah, we'll have it hopefully tonight. We'll see.
So here's my question for all of you. By the way, tell us if you already have your tree up. For those of you that are like us, my husband bought a new tree, so it was there with the lights. I decorated it 2 nights ago. Now, will you leave it up longer? Because it's literally,
I
you
will, and we do a real tree, so
Oh.
we always have a shorter time period where
Yeah.
we usually have the tree. So, yeah, we'll do the real tree, and we might be doing a Charlie Brown tree this year, just because it's
Those are
such
the
a
cutest.
short
Yeah,
time
yeah.
period, and yeah.
So do me a favor and drop in. How long do you leave your trees up? Because my mom and I were discussing that. Like, do you do it past Little Christmas?
There's some
Epiphany?
Yeah, I was like, there's a date beyond New Year's, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So for those that are in the Catholic religion, it's Epiphany, or it's called Little Christmas. So you go in at least until the 2nd week of January. I absolutely will do that. But I just love this feel. Everybody seems to be in a better mood that I might push it beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, we have our house lights up. We have everything else decorated. We haven't done the tree yet.
Yes. Well, if all of you that have been ahead of the game, I love it. Now, gift cards, presents, all the like, whatever it is, making people happy. One of the things that Jennifer and I want to talk about is making sure that you are as well, that when people are buying gift cards, which we're going to talk a little bit about today, what percentage would you say come in and actually buy one for themselves?
Oh my goodness. Well, right now we have bonus money, so a lot of people buy them for themselves.
Good.
I just had a client come in, and she basically pre-bought her services for 6 to 8 months.
Oh, good.
By just buying herself gift cards.
Well, she's well ahead of the game.
And
but don't you think that a lot of people, again, we talk about self-care a lot, that they don't slow down and take care of themselves?
Well, and we even have people, like, if they're trying to get a bigger service, they might start a gift card for themselves and contribute monthly to it till they get the amount of money they need for their service. It's kind of like, instead of paying after with interest using a credit card, you're prepaying and, you know, planning for your future service.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Again, if you have not seen Jennifer, let's put on the screen where they're located. Elemental Esthetics. Again, we've been talking about this for since September. 425 North New Ballas Road. The suite is 206 in Creve Coeur. Telephone is 314-279-6069. Hannah's doing a great job dropping in everything that you need as well at home. Michelle as well. ElementalAesthetics.com. You can go online and see all the services, but then there's always new services and new devices that Jennifer's getting. I've told you many times that she likes to be first in the market many times, but here's some of the services that you would see when you go to their website. But a few of the ones that we're going to talk about today are newer. In fact, I saw your social media post, about a week or so ago, and you were talking about Dermapen, and you said you think, or you probably know, that you're the only one in St. Louis that has this?
No, we are definitely.
You are definitely.
We are definitely.
We are definitely the only one. So what is Dermapen?
So it's basically a microneedling device. So what microneedling devices do is make tiny little dots in the skin. And with this one, what I have always hated about microneedling is that most people do it in this very aggressive way, where the client looks beat up or bloody faced, or
that's not good.
It's very intense, and sometimes the results are not even worth all that hoopla. So what's cool with the Dermapen is it has an ultrafine needle. And so you aren't ending up with this just beat up face afterwards. You actually look just normal after.
Immediately after.
You might be pink. You'll be pink for a couple hours, but
So
it's like nothing big comparative to like what traditional microneedling is. So it's having the microfine needles, and it moves very quickly across the skin. I mean, it's so comfortable, we don't even have to numb for it.
I was just going to ask you, just took that out of my mouth. So no numbing, immediately after maybe a little pink, and that's it? That's all people are going to experience?
Yeah, and so it helps with, it's also the first one to help with scarring.
Okay.
There's a technique and a method for that. Like if you have a scar on your face or body, that we can actually use the pen to remove it. You can see how it just kind of glides. It's like no big deal.
Okay, wait, you just said something that I'm interested by. So if somebody has a scar from anything, do they have to do multiple treatments to get rid of that scar?
They may.
Okay, let me ask. So when I was a little kid and we were celebrating our softball, this is so funny. We were celebrating our softball win, but we were playing soccer at the person's house. And it was raining, and I went to go grab, I was playing goalie. I went to grab the ball, and my face rammed into, do you see this scar right here? Into a big metal piece that was coming out of this U-Haul. And my mom put like a little butterfly stitch, and then they stitched it all up. So there's one here and there's one here. You faintly see them. Something like that? That would be for that?
It'll break up that scar.
Interesting.
You break up the scar tissue very gently and not aggressively. Actually, we have like 5 different technologies for scarring on the face. So before, I used to do, I was in plastic surgery and I was in dermatology. And so I did a lot of scar revisions, and I have all these different techniques to deal with scarring. So if that's something somebody deals with, I have so many choices, and this is just the newest, and it's fun to have a new way to address it.
Absolutely. So again, if you're just tuning in, Jennifer is with Elemental Aesthetics. We're talking about this Dermapen. If you've, maybe in the past, if you've had microneedling and you haven't been happy maybe with the results, or you didn't like what you had to go through, you've been using this for how long now?
We've been it's only been out for a little while. We've had it about 6 weeks, I think.
So what is
and we've done all kinds of fun things.
That's what I was going to ask. What's the results been from people?
Like we like to do it maybe with dermaplaning and a light peel. It's so not aggressive, but the results are like, I did one yesterday, and it's just like she walks out the door just
glowing,
tight and awesome looking, and so it's been really great, an easy tool. And the other thing that I love about it is they have these high-end European serums that we're infusing. So they're very clean, and they don't use the 1,500 banned ingredients that are from the United States. So you have these beautiful European serums that we can brighten the skin, we can tighten the skin, we can do collagen, we can do rosacea with it.
Oh, wow.
So there's like a lot of options as far as how to not just microneedle, but the quality of the serums that we're using.
That was going to be my question, is when people are hearing this, what would they have to make them think, well, that's for me? So rosacea, you mentioned, scarring from any kind of acne scarring?
Yes, it's really good on acne scarring.
What other things would people say, that's for me?
Rejuvenating.
Rejuvenating.
You need to feel tighter. Like a lot of times we can work really well around the mouth, tighten things up. Under the eyes, it's really nice. Even on the forehead, for people that don't want to do Botox, it's a good option.
Okay, so when they have this done, how long are the results lasting?
So if you just do one, it'll last you about 6 weeks or so, but you can repeat it once a month, maybe 3 times, and have a longer result.
Okay.
Scarring, each time you break up the scarring, you're breaking up the scarring. So that is not one that you, like, once you've got that scar revised, then, you know, you're pretty good.
Are you using it on any other areas of the body besides the face, or?
Definitely neck, chest. We could probably do other body parts. I haven't played with that yet, though.
Well, because again, you've been using it for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Somebody had asked me the other day when you came in, they wanted to know what they could do for their neck. They didn't like the crepey skin on the neck or the chicken, turkey necks, whatever they call it. What do you do for that?
Oh my goodness, we have so many options.
Oh,
for
okay.
that. We have a Contouro, which is it's a radio frequency device that just kind of lifts and tightens. We've got Cool Peel. We've got Vivace, which is RF microneedling. We do Agnes sometimes on the neck. It depends on what's happening and why. I actually did an old one yesterday. We used to always use Plasma Pen, which is this crazy, you end up with these little black dots all over you. But for crepey skin, it's really phenomenal. So the client came in yesterday because she's off, and she could have the little crazy looking dots.
Right, because that's the thing. When people hear about, and again, if you have any questions, by the way, drop them in. I'll be looking at your questions for Jennifer. Many people are always wondering when we talk about these things, what is the downtime for these? Some do have downtime,
And
others
some have none.
right back to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that Contoura is like a warm massage. It has no downtime. You do have to repeat it a few times to get your results. So, that's always kind of the element. If you have downtime, you might get away with one.
Okay.
If you have no downtime, you might have to do a few.
So you just have to plan it according
so it's
to your
like
schedule.
what works for your life, and yeah.
Perfect. So the woman, and you know who you are, that asked me, there you go. Now you know what you can do for your neck. Because she was just like, it's time for me.
I
I've
would
been
tell her
putting
to
it
come
off.
get a consult.
Yeah.
Because there's so many options.
And that's the thing that we've been telling you always, that Jennifer will take care of you. Anybody that's been in, I have had beautiful feedback from all of you that have been in, have said that they love you, by the way. I'll pass that along again and again and again. They're like, oh, she's so sweet and she was so good with me. And I felt kind of stupid. I didn't know what I was doing. And you just guide them, right?
Yes.
Don't feel stupid.
No, you can't know all that we know.
Right. You're not supposed to. It's not your job. It's her job.
You come in and say, here's my issue. And then I'll say, here's your options.
Yes, and she always has options for you. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, a lot of you may have used Ozempic or Monjauro, semaglutide, whatever. There's so many out there. Maybe it's for a diabetic aspect, or you literally tried everything and you felt like nothing's working for me. Maybe I'll try this. And you've been so happy with your weight loss.
Yes.
But a lot of the stories in the news has talked about the people who've been on that they suddenly see muscle loss. So what do you do in that case? Well, she's got something brand new that we're going to talk about, which is fascinating to me as a personal trainer, that it talks about muscle building. And then also, everywhere I look, Jennifer, I am seeing everybody's Instagram stories talking about pelvic floor exercises. Do this for your pelvic floor. I laughed, and I'm like, I think it's because I said it, and now my whole phone gets it. There were stretches that they were doing. They had this like little ball they were putting under the sits bone, and they were doing these groin stretches and stuff, all for the pelvic floor. But again, she's got a device that has help, actually, for things like sexual health or incontinence, pelvic floor issues. We're going to talk about all that, and again, gift cards and bonuses for you. Don't forget the gift cards for yourself when you're buying for others on your list. More with Jennifer when we return.
One of our things we always say is we want everybody to leave with a smile.
Oh, and trust me, they do. I've seen a lot of smiles here today. There's so many levels of why you will love these ladies, but giving back to the community, supporting the community, collaborating with other businesses.
Please paste. Now we give parameters here. Power walkers generally use incline. Yeah, I know.
Go, girls, go!
Because you're not only getting some great local roasted coffee, you're getting good people.
Good people is what it's about. And by the way, that person who turned up their nose, karma is that you know what.
Yep.
everyone needs to be kind. And it
Yes.
starts really with the adults. And then it goes down because we're the ones that are instilling this in our children, in our families, and everything thereafter.
We are live on location, and this is the really cool thing. This is exactly what we can do from your business. We call it Mobile Monica. You know, I'm always on the move.
Welcome back, 7:30, and thanks for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. Again, tell your friends, tell your family. We've got so many different things that we do day in and day out on this show, but they all have to do with positivity and taking care of our bodies, our minds, our souls, all of the positivity that we need in our life. Today, we're talking about the whole body, which, again, whenever you hear me talk about Elemental Aesthetics, I always talk about many things that they can do for you inside and out. And I love those of you that been in. Michelle was just saying that her friend came in to see you, and she got her lips done. Was that right? Is that what I said?
She was fighting
right
wrinkles,
above her wrinkles, right above her
the
lips.
lip.
And she said she's so happy with her results.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear that too.
Let's see. I just started. What is it called? Zepbound?
Okay, yes. So that's.
And she said she will be doing her second shot. What's
so
that?
that's like Monjauro, but it's the pharmaceutical version of just for weight loss exclusively.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Monjauro is more diagnosed for diabetes.
Yes.
Zepbound is for weight loss. It's the same. It's pretty much the same.
Because there's, I mean, I'm glad this got brought up because there are so many. Like we see Monjauro, which is tirzepatide, then Ozempic, is that semaglutide? And then this one I hadn't heard of.
There's Zepbound, which is it's just about how it's diagnosed, but it's the same medication as
Okay.
Monjauro.
Okay.
There's also Wegovy, which is Ozempic's for weight loss. So they're very similar. And a pharmaceutical friend of mine was just saying there is a ton more
coming. So
Yes.
we had Dr. Richard Lehman on many months ago, and he was like, oh, there's so many things coming, not even in a shot form, but in a pill form.
Yeah, they kind of tried that. I don't think it's worked as
No?
well, but
Okay.
there are the pill form versions, and they haven't been as
Haven't had that
effective.
success?
Not.
So again, I mean, just like anything with medicine, every single second something new is being discovered. Well, for you, that is another thing that we talk about, that when we mention facials and microneedling and all of this, that's done on the outside of the body, yes. But we've mentioned many times that you can go in and you can have a consultation, whether it's medical grade or it's non-medical. Tabitha helps with that. We've mentioned, Tabitha was in here. They
Yes,
loved her,
yes.
as we knew would happen. And she talked about the hormones. Again,
But she
big
can also,
show.
She
But
can
she also does
do
the weight loss. Yes.
Yeah. So if people want these medications, she's a very affordable way to get them. But I love Tabitha because she's not going to just consult on that. She's going to look at the hormones. Like, are things out of balance? Like,
Yes.
how can we get this right too? Because those things can make a huge impact on your
Mm-hmm.
ability to lose weight.
Right. She's not just going to have you come in and go, yes, great, here you go. Let's get on this. She'll be, again, just like Jennifer does the consultation, she'll do a great consultation with you and find out what works. Well, it may work from a standpoint of weight loss, but there's a lot of people who've said, well, wait a minute, what's happening to my muscle that I used to have? Well, first of all, you're not supposed to just have the injection or the shot and then do nothing and just sit around and say, okay, great, the weight's coming off. I'm not going to eat healthy. I'm not going to drink water. I'm not going to work out. So the muscle loss, Jennifer, that people are seeing, are they in that category that they just think it's, I can do a shot and I don't have to do anything else?
So if you're just doing the shot and you're making no alterations to your life, you are losing muscle mass. There are studies that show up to 50% of your weight loss is muscle mass.
Wow.
And so this is a problem. Like, I understand people are like, I'm getting skinny, but we always talk about skinny fat, right? You're skinny, but you're fleshy. You're and the bigger concern that I have for the future for people is osteoporosis, osteopenia, all of these other disorders that can happen from that muscle missing. And quite frankly, I am very pro these injections for weight loss and all kinds of other things. But I want you to change your lifestyle. I want you to eat better. I want you to eat a little bit cleaner. Yes, I know you do. That's why I was like, I know you relate to this.
This is where I think, whenever we first started this show, in my mind was a med spa what I thought was going to be like this direct link with me. I didn't initially, right? Obviously, we've done a lot over the last year and a half with another friend of mine that was with our title sponsor. Then Elemental came on back in September, and I started thinking it really is a beautiful marriage between everything that you're doing and then a handoff to a trainer or a life coach from the mental side or
Absolutely.
a dietitian from the nutrition side, because it can't be that they go into Tabitha, have your consultation, she says, yes, we are going to go this route. There's no way that she would ever say, we're just going to do that, and then you don't have to change one thing in your life.
That's right.
If she did, I would say, get her out of here.
Yeah. Well, and it's not very effective in the long term. And so one of the big side effects is this muscle, they call it muscle wasting, actually, even. And it's a huge problem. So there's plenty of ways you can work out. I mean, I don't care what way you do to improve your muscle, but we have a new way to improve your muscle.
So these next two things we're going to talk about, just like the Dermapen, these are all like kind of like breaking news in the industry that she's in. So Dermapen, new. So are these Stim. They're from the same company, right? So this one's called Stimuloss.
So Stimuloss can build muscle, tighten skin, kill fat in areas like your abdomen, arms, legs, calves, you name it. Glutes, you can get that nice round tush.
The J-Lo butt?
Yeah. But the biggest thing is, for me, and one of the reasons we think this is important, is so many people are on these medications and they are losing muscle mass, and this is an easy way to replace that without straining a risk of injury, like those kinds of things. They're FDA cleared up to 80 years old. So yes, I've even said, I would love to see this in a retirement home, because think about if we improve the core muscle of seniors, how much less falling would happen. Or if we improve muscle mass all over the whole body, like it's incredible. And there's other devices that have done this for a while, but the beauty of Stimuloss is it's less expensive and it's a local company. So this is being released right out of St. Louis.
Oh, I love that.
So if you want to support local, like the gentleman that created it is trying to help people. He really wants to help people and make this affordable for people.
Good for you. So what area, like in St. Louis City or county?
Yeah, he's in Creve Coeur.
Creve Coeur. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think that's the greatest thing, is that when we have local companies that support other local companies, and we always say support local businesses, right? Keep them thriving, keep them going. So this is fascinating to me. If someone is coming in and they are saying, I am on this, again, whatever weight loss drug it is, and I have experienced that. So, hey, I just heard about this today, or I'm going to tell a friend or family member that has this. So they go in, how long does it take for them to go through that treatment, and then how often?
So it's a 30-minute treatment.
Okay.
We can actually treat up to 2 body parts at a time.
Okay.
So, for example, I've been testing it on myself, on my abdomen and my arms at the same time. Yeah, you can see it contract. See, I don't know if you can tell in the video.
Yeah.
It's literally pulsing and contracting on her abdomen. And so it's basically on the abdomen, for example, the equivalent of 20,000 crunches.
And yeah, no trainer is going to make you do that in a session.
Nor can you. Nor physically can you. And so the same with the arms. The arms are a big complaint for a lot of women, especially on these diet drugs, because you do get kind of doughy in the arms.
In like their tricep area, like
yeah.
when they wave goodbye to their grandkids and their kids, and,
Yeah.
and the kids are the worst. They come back and say, "Why is that waving?"
The other one is like maybe the upper thigh. People complain about loose skin. So this one has the muscle building, but it also has RF in it, which tightens the skin. So you get skin tightening as well as the fat removal. It heats the tissue, and it puts your body in a hypermetabolic state where you see inch loss as well, especially in the abdomen. So if you're fighting that little poochy belly, it's a good way to just,
Little muffin tops.
it's not going to like take 5 inches off your gut, but it is going to take a few, make your pants more comfortable. Like that's what I've noticed. My pants are more comfortable. I feel a little bit better. I feel strong. So not even the aesthetic alone.
Well, that was going to ask you,
but
is if it's strengthening the core.
Just feeling good. And like when I go and plank now, I am like powerhouse planking. You know, I'm not going to outplank that one lady.
The
but-
grandma?
Yeah.
4 hours and something?
Yeah.
And then she did push-ups after that and did like the Guinness Book of World Record for push-ups. Same grandma. She's a bad you-know-what.
But we've also had a lot of people that it inspired them to get back to working out.
I hope, well, that's what I'm hoping is that, and we've mentioned this before on the show, that if you're starting to see the results you've always wanted and you were stuck before, then you're starting to see this, well, it's natural, isn't it, that you suddenly feel better about yourself and you're wanting to take care of yourself. You're wanting to change the lifestyle. If not, you're literally wasting your money just to have this done and then go backwards.
Right. I mean, I remember, so I did a competitive device years ago, and I remember one thing that was so kind of stuck out to me is I was bounding up the bleachers at my kid's school after because that core is holding you up and it's easier, you're more stable. And so it's amazing how like the non-aesthetic things are really important with that in regards to how you do that. So it's 30 minutes of treatment. You ideally want to come once a week for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And then the maintenance after, because it's muscle building, so you can't just do it and be like, okay, I'm
done. Right. Good.
Is only once a quarter.
So once a week for 6 weeks, then maintenance once a quarter.
Right.
I know a lot of you always ask because you're like, hey, you didn't ask her this. So if someone's doing that, so they're going to buy a package of 6 weeks?
Yes.
What does that cost?
Right now we're having a promo for $1,500.
Okay, so they're specials, and then that will run through the end of the year, or
mid-January.
Mid-January. Okay, and then then their maintenance aspect, how much does that cost for one at a time?
$200.
$200. Okay, so wrap your brain around that. Again, once a week for 6 weeks, then your maintenance, again, once a quarter. So if you are really frustrated, men and women alike, of muscle loss, that you have, and you're looking to get that built back up, again, the crunches, how many? 20,000?
20,000.
And so how do they feel after that? I mean, because if I had them do crunches or I had them doing planks, it's sore.
Taps the lactic acid out of the system, so you're not. I do say, like when I do my arms, I feel sore.
A little sore?
A little,
not crazy?
A little sore. And when I do other parts, not as much sore.
Okay.
So, but I like the sore. It's like, oh, something happened.
Just like when a trainer's training you and you feel, my clients load up my text message saying, oh, I'm sore today, but it makes me feel like I accomplished something.
You feel strong.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, so again, this one is called Stimuloss.
And we have right now, if someone wants to try it between now and January 15th, they can try it for free.
Oh, well, there we go. Okay, so between now and January 15th, so let's put the phone number up on the screen for you to call and say, okay, I heard about this. I want to try this out. 314-279-6069. So they would just carve out a half-hour time or a little bit longer to come in and whatever, and maybe have a little consultation with this. Call for between now and January 15th. You can have that done for free. And I would actually like to know, for those of you that try it out, how it felt for you, and did it empower you? Did you feel stronger? Did you feel like you could take on the world?
Yeah.
Because suddenly you've got this crazy strong core. Yeah, fascinating. Okay, that, and then another new device, which is called Stimseat, from the same company, which I love, again, right here in St. Louis. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk about that because I'm just telling you right now, if you do a little Google search, you're going to see tons and tons of stories and reels, Instagram, TikTok, etc. All these people and these influencers that I'm seeing doing pelvic floor issues, which some of you are like, what is the pelvic floor? Well, what do I do for it? What can be done? Well, now they've got this thing called Stimseat. So we're going to transition to that. We'll talk about Stimseat. But again, if you have any questions or comments for Jennifer, just let us know. We'll be sure to make sure that you are heard. Don't go anywhere.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
Welcome back, 7:44, and again, Jennifer Warmann-Bloss, the owner of Elemental Esthetics, in with us. If you've missed the beginning part of the show, be sure to go back. We've been talking about a lot of things that maybe serves you or somebody else that you know that's been struggling or just not happy with what they see. And that's the whole thing. When you look in the mirror, it is, do you have self-love or do you just tear yourself apart? And for me, as someone who trains a lot of clients and life coaches a lot of clients, I hear the latter. I hear a lot of people say, nope, I can't look myself in the mirror. I'm not happy with myself. And we don't, and that's hurting me like in my soul when I think about that for everybody. So we want you to be able to look yourself in the eye, right? And be happy. She helps you from the aesthetic side, but not just that. It's the mind, body, spirit in the collaboration together. We've been talking about weight loss, then muscle building, again with Stimuloss, but the same company has a device called Stimseat.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
So one of the other muscles we can build is the pelvic floor muscle. So the pelvic floor muscle kind of runs underneath, it's parallel to the ground, and it holds up a lot of our intimate parts.
Yes.
And so I don't know, after playing with this seat for a little bit, the one thing that I have to say is everyone needs help with their pelvic floor.
Starting at what age?
I don't know. Babies, post babies for sure. I mean, after women have babies, it just kind of tears things apart down there. And so I would say it just depends. Like, you know, the biggest thing that we've seen so far with this is, especially for incontinence, if you're the woman that can't do the jumping jacks anymore.
And that's almost every one of my clients.
Yes.
They'll start jumping jacks and they'll run to the bathroom.
Yes.
And they're like, you don't understand, you didn't have a baby. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I feel blessed that I don't. But yes, that's probably 95% of clients as they get past 40.
Yes.
That they all can't do it.
So the message to that is doesn't have to be like that. I actually did a podcast with a pelvic floor specialist, and she says to me, it doesn't have to be like that. That's not normal. You don't have to feel that way. And so, this is for men too, by the way. So the guy getting up 3 times in the middle of the night,
right?
Like it really helps. It basically holds everything in place better. So your bladder's held up, your, cervix and all the other personal parts down there are being supported. And that's very important to reduce like urgency and all of that. So what we've seen so far is, women saying, I can do jumping jacks after. I am capable of sleeping through the night without having to go to the bathroom for both men and women. And that is huge for your life. I mean, if you're just sleeping through the night alone.
I was just going to say, from an overall health standpoint, as men, you hear that part from the men a lot, from prostate health.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, I'm getting up and going to the bathroom nonstop. And I was like, well, do you understand what you're saying there? You are not sleeping, which means you're not well rested, which means your entire life is off.
Right.
So you're giving them their life back with this.
So the way that this device works is you sit on the seat, and it does an equivalent of 10,000 Kegels.
Okay, so men might not know what Kegels are, but a lot of women do. So we were just talking about 20,000 crunches with the Stimuloss, 10,000 Kegels with Stimseat?
Yes. So it's basically supporting that, building the muscle, that pelvic floor muscle. It's interesting, though, with that seat, we've also seen the glutes increase from sitting on the seat. And it's you just sit there for 30 minutes. We put you in front of a TV, you can watch TV, you can listen to a podcast, you can read a book, whatever. With the Stimseat, you want to come twice a week for 3 weeks.
Twice a week for 3 weeks. And
so
then
again,
what after?
It's 6.
What
and
after
then
that?
Once a month is ideal if you have kind of an ongoing problem. But it's less expensive. And like we have a membership, so if you wanted, you could do that on a membership.
And I always want to stress this, and we haven't said it yet in this show, but I always want to make sure we do, that you always want to be checking in with your doctor. Actually, she would want you to say, let's work together in this. If you've been dealing with all these issues and they're working with you, but you're still frustrated because, again, you're having incontinence issues, something's going on with your bladder, that this can be beneficial for you. Also, which is something we talked about in the past, we had a true men's health show where we gave the wake-up call. I had a guy actually say, well, men don't have incontinence. And I said, What?
Yes, they do.
And I was like, oh my gosh, see, we just need like awareness for all of this.
Yes.
But sexual health.
Yes, so it does improve actual orgasm. Because it's tightening all around the private area as well. It helps with, all kinds of sexual health issues for both men and women. ED.
Right, which is, again, that was the main thing. We talked about erectile dysfunction and incontinence in our men's health show. Go back and watch that, by the way. It was a great show with a urologist. That's the main thing is, since this is fairly new, you just started using this when?
Probably about 6
weeks ago?
Yeah.
So are you thinking of working hand in hand with a lot of different doctors in this industry?
I mean, it would be great. And honestly, we can help those doctors get access to this device as well. So, we're excited not to just hoard the market on that, but if other practices are interested in this technology, it's local and there's no reason why we shouldn't have availability for a lot of people to try this.
Absolutely. So Julie had just said that her doctor was to send her to a physical therapist for the pelvic floor, right? A lot of it is an awareness because unless you started having issues, people don't even think about the pelvic floor until it happens.
I can tell you that I didn't think I had issues, but I've done a series now. I actually just finished my last one in the series yesterday. It's amazing. I just feel I'm not going to the bathroom as much during the day, and I drink tons of water, and it's just so nice. And then I slept 7 hours through the night straight. These things have not happened for me. And I didn't even think I had a problem. So that's the interesting dynamic is I tried it because it's here and I'm like, how can I talk about it if I don't try it? And it's been amazing. It's been life-changing.
So I love to do everything real on this show. That's why she's glowing, because her husband and her are having better sex.
It just does make a big difference.
See, there it is. That's what the glow. I'm just kidding. She's like, thanks, Monica, for turning me red. So, okay, that's interesting because otherwise, so that more falls into the category of being preventative, right? Everybody seems to wait until something's wrong and then react.
You might not even know it's wrong. You might not know that you could feel better.
Interesting.
And so that's kind of where I was. I did it because it was available, and I found out that I feel better.
Right.
That's huge.
Well, and that is what life is supposed to be about is, and let's go back to that. From everything that we've been talking about over the last several months, it is you, especially when we had Tabitha in talking about the hormones, you do not have to live your life this way.
Right.
For those of you that think, I hear a lot of guys say this. Well, isn't it inevitable as we get older, we're going to have issues with our prostate and we're just going to have to get up several times throughout the night? And you're saying, no, you don't have to live this way.
That's correct.
Women that have been saying, okay, hot flashes and weight gain and brain fog and irritability, all those things come with menopause. I'm going to have to live this way. We just talked about it on the hormone show. No, you don't.
You don't.
And again, we have spoken, because we like to be firsthand with this, spoken firsthand. You all know that my life completely changed when my hormones got where they were supposed to be. And Tabitha and I have been working on that. Jim does it as well. It's just simple. We do the cream. It looks like a little deodorant thing. Click, click. And then, I do want to ask that because I thought I read something, or maybe she had said something once. Is there a certain time of day that you're supposed to be putting that on? Is it morning, afternoon, evening, or does it matter?
If you have testosterone, morning is better. Because testosterone's a wake-up hormone.
Okay.
So, and it's alertness hormone. It helps with sleep too, but I think in the morning is good if testosterone is in your mix.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm not sure it matters as much.
Okay, that was a good question, and I thought I had heard somebody. Wait, see, you just said something about sleep. I thought I heard somebody say, "No, Monica, you're supposed to be doing that in the evening. It'll help. Yeah, it'll help you sleep." I've been doing it in the morning. But either way, the other part of it is that you keep with it. That was one thing I had told Tabitha. If all of a sudden it lapses, then you don't have the next version coming, or your prescription refilled, it's getting out of your system
pretty quick.
And so I was asking her on the show, how often should we be doing blood work just to check in? I think she said maybe every few months to check it again. Do we need to up it?
Well, especially if you're trying to find your perfect dose.
It all depends on how you're feeling, right?
It might take a little time. Or I've been on hormone replacement for a long time. I've always had issues with estrogen, very high estrogen, actually, the opposite of most people. And now I'm starting to have a little menopause symptoms, and we're having to now play with, adjusting those medications. So the beauty of the creams is you can do it on the fly.
Right, and again, but for all of you, and I know there's some people that are like, oh, but I am on the pellets, and I love my pellets because I only have to go in, once
Yeah.
every few months. The only, well, not the only, but one of the drawbacks to that is you can't adjust it once it's in there
You're
until
stuck-
3 months later.
You're stuck with it for,
That's why I like the cream. And I think I was asking Tabitha when she was in, I was like, why would people not do a cream? And she's just said it's preference. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if people think it's sticky.
I mean, if you're on like you know exactly what your dose is, there is some sense in the pelleting, but most people aren't like that. We're constantly fluctuating, especially as women. We're like up and down, and we're not like even keel all the time. Especially, I'd say, from the decade from 40s to 60s, you're in constant fluctuation.
Up and down, up and down, up, which is why she's always asking, how are you feeling? Before this gets refilled, how are you feeling?
Yes.
Great. Okay, then let's keep it there.
Yes.
If not, then it's an adjustment for men and women both, right? From a testosterone standpoint, if suddenly the energy's not there, or guys aren't liking what, they're hoping they're on testosterone maybe because they want to see more muscle build. Well, now you've got Stimuloss aspect that you could do.
Well, and for women too, like testosterone is huge for women. It can make you feel so much better, alert, better sleep, and better muscle mass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get you ripped. Okay, once again, our recap. For those of you that are tuning in right now, make sure that you go back to the beginning of the show. So we are talking about Stimseat for the pelvic floor, Stimuloss, again, for the building of the muscle, if you're seeing a loss of muscle, and a lot of that may be tied into if you were or are on some of the weight loss drugs. We also discussed Dermapen, which is the newest. She likes this from the microneedling standpoint. All three of these things, you're the only one in town that's, right? So Elemental Esthetics is where you have to go for these. You can't go elsewhere. So there it is. Again, Suite 206, 425 North New Ballas Road in Creve Coeur. Call 314-279-6069. You can go online also to elementalasthetics.com. We talked about gift cards, and I want to bring that back up on the show in case you missed it in the beginning. So people can come in and get gift cards right now, but you're running extra bonuses.
Yes. So, and actually you can purchase online as well.
Okay.
Through our website. If you buy one of those gift cards, we'll add the bonus money to it. So when you purchase, it'll be like the $100, and we'll put the extra 10 on, or the extra 25, or whatever tier you end up in. And so it kind of gives you a discount on a future service too, if you want.
Or you're buying for somebody else and then you're getting for you, which is what I always like.
Yes, we can do that too.
Right? So then the max purchase would be $1,000. So if they did $1,000, because we're talking about some of these services that might be that or a little over. If they do $1,000, what are they getting back?
An extra $120.
I did my math there.
Yeah.
You and I
That's
are
like
good.
a facial. It's like you buy your friends cards, and now you get a facial.
Well, and let me ask that before we wrap up. So we are in the rush right before the holiday, and I know you've been really busy with a lot of people coming in, because last time you were in, you were saying everybody wants to come in and get beautiful and glow for the holidays because they're going to see so many people they haven't. Do you have openings?
We're actually a little quieter next week, so if you find that you have a little downtime, this week's crazy. I think this is the week most people try to get in. But if you have some peace in your life next week and you want to get a service, you want to relax a little bit, come get a facial and just feel good and rejuvenated for the holiday. We do have quite a few openings on Monday and Tuesday of next week.
And then after Christmas, do you start ramping up and getting busy again leading into New Year's?
We do get a lot of people that come in between those two holidays because they're off, their businesses are closed, like the company they work for is closed. That's also a great time. Or teachers, like people that this is your downtime, it's a good time to get in. And then I would say also, like, looking at January, what we see in January is a lot. This is the good time to do a downtime service. Like,
right, because you've got some time off.
Social calendar's quieter. It's usually cold and gross outside, and it's a good time to do a big service. So we do see a lot of people do larger services in January.
And what do you see when it comes to New Year's resolutions that people say, I'm going to do more of this for myself in the new year? What would that be? More?
I mean, I would love to see, as people are looking at their fitness goals, they're considering this device as a way to kickstart yourself. And you don't have to be a perfect BMI to do this.
Right.
You can just come and do it. It will help you.
Again, so when you make the New Year's resolutions to get healthier, and that is the number one thing, whenever we used to do these stories in news, it was always weight loss. Everyone's like, here I go again, January 1st, I'm going to lose the weight. And then, for whatever reason, 4 or 6 weeks later, they stop. So maybe you can have this work in conjunction with you starting to see that you're going to have a better lifestyle. You're going to eat better, you're going to have more water, you're going to work out, and then you're going to have this, again, work hand in hand in a collaboration with you.
And I do want to say that not just the medications, but anyone that's doing a rapid weight loss is having muscle loss also.
Sure.
So if you're doing the old school way, you still need to be working on your muscle.
Which is why, even though people get frustrated when they hear a doctor say, okay, I want you to lose maybe 1 to 2, maybe max 3 pounds a week. If someone gets excited and like, I just lost 5 pounds or 7 pounds, no. That's not going to stay, by the way. If you've tried to do that before and you have this massive loss, those are the people that then gain it all back and then some,
yes.
right? Oh yeah, they rebound like crazy.
And so, but the point is, even if you're on that track and you're being successful, it's muscle. You still
muscle.
need to build muscle.
Yep.
You need to see you. They need to see us. Whatever.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Yes, and your doctor. Again, always work in conjunction with all of it. Okay, so gift cards and a lot of different devices. So before we wrap up, if they're coming in to get a facial, what's the most popular right now that they're coming in for?
I always say to book a customized facial because then we can see how the state of your skin.
Yeah.
Because even my own clients, like one of the things people love, when people talk to my client, they say, what facial do you do? They say, whatever Jennifer tells me.
Right, because that's the consultation side.
So we have so many options. We have like 12 different options of facials and like a lot of advanced technology. So we want to treat what's happening right now. So you could be drier right now. You could be dehydrated right now from having holiday parties and
yes, too much alcohol.
Yeah, like
and eating wrong.
So there's a lot of ways that we can boost that. I always say book a customized facial if you don't know what to get, and we'll figure it out.
Absolutely. And yes, so from the hydration standpoint, we see a lot of that. And we talked to you before about when you're getting a facial, how often, I used to always hear with the change of the season, so I'm due for a facial because I think I did it in September.
Yes.
And so, yeah, and we're getting into winter and the skin changes so much. We're out and right now it's warmer.
People are pretty depleted in the winter.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like rejuvenating, putting vitamins back into the tissue.
I was just going to say vitamin D we need.
Yeah, just all kinds
Well, we always need vitamin D, but we have less of it because we're not out.
But we're going to be infusing that too. There's lots of ways to do that.
Yeah. Yay. Take care of yourself. That is the message we want you to hear. Please take care of yourself. Again, elementalaesthetics.com. There's so many things that you've been hearing me on the days that she's not here that I talk about. I still love that salt room. It's still my favorite room. Again, a lot of you, as we're talking about the winter season, we have so much going around right now. My mom's just getting over being sick. I was sick going to Italy when I came to you. And then coming home, I should have got there because I was sick again. So we've got the flu going around. We have, you name it. There's just a ton of things that are out in the world right now that you're dealing with. But you don't have to feel that way. So maybe you want to go into that salt room and breathe better because that's what I felt before I hopped on that germ tube of a plane and I got sick again. So elementalaesthetics.com for whatever we've talked about. Do that for you. And again, don't forget about those gift cards. Again, 314-279-6069. All right, we're going to do our devotion. What do you feel over there? What color? Ooh.
I like teal.
That's the overeating one. It's
perfect.
perfect.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad because this one doesn't get picked often. I purposely did not say what the name of them were. I just said pick a color. All right. 100 Days to Freedom from Overeating, which fits into this morning. We'll do that right after the break. Are you ready to celebrate the holidays? How about coming out to wine country with the Real Monica Adams Show? Right now, I am sitting in the new enclosed patio with Sugar Creek Winery and Judgment Tree Distillery. So if you like good wine, or maybe you like vodka or brandy, they've got it all for you. And on December 28th from 1:30 to 3 p.m., we're going to be broadcasting live right here. I want to see you, so start making plans. It's going to be a big day from noon to 6 of great food, great wine, wonderful music. More importantly, kindness among friends and family. Won't you join us? December 28th, we'll see you with The Real Monica Adams Show. I can't wait to see you all. We're going to have such a good time. Again, December 28th. Mark it on your calendar. So stay in that festive holiday spirit and walk into that enclosed patio with us. I swear, it's Santa's workshop. So somebody just said that they were going to be sent to a physical therapist for the pelvic floor. Jennifer just said she loves that as well. Again, working hand in hand. So have that done and then look into what Elemental has for you as well. So how many of you feel like you already have been overeating? Don't continue it. Stop the madness. Train like an athlete. This is day 27. Anyone who competes as an athlete does not receive the victor's crown except by competing according to the rules. This is 2 Timothy 2, verse 5. So on one of the walls of the Olympic Training Center, which is, of course, in Colorado Springs, there's an inscription that reads, quote, "Enter the doors with an unrelenting sense of urgency." The best athletes understand that they have to give their best effort every single day. There's an intensity about the way they train that produces an incredible momentum to achieve their goals. And one of the components of their training is what? The food that they choose to eat. Athletes see food as a fuel source. They're not scared by it. They're not turning to it for comfort to be like their counselor. It's our fuel, giving us the nutrients needed to reach what? Optimal physical potential. They are connected to what their bodies need. Listen to that. Let that absorb with you. Athletes are sure to have healthy omega-3 fatty acids to decrease inflammation, vegetables to increase levels of vitamin D, we just talked about, also vitamin C. Fresh fruits as a source of vitamins and antioxidants to build immunity. Lean proteins to replenish their muscles, complex carbohydrates for quick energy, and water to help with the hydration that promotes healthy blood flow to keep oxygen levels to the brain and the body steady. See? So everything that Jennifer and I have been talking about, these are the things that you do once you say, oh, my body's actually on the right track now. The Apostle Paul compared the Christian walk to an athlete in training. Having the mindset of someone who is in training for a race will help us to make good decisions about our food intake. We will begin to ask ourselves if what we eat moves us toward our goals. You hear me ask the question all the time, how does it serve you? Food then's restored to its place as an enjoyable fuel source. So Vince Lombardi, the Lombardi Trophy, he said, the good Lord gave you a body that can stand most anything. It's your mind you have to convince. Good one, Vince. Daniel Amen said, maintain a healthy blood sugar level by eating frequent, smaller meals. Some people look into fasting. Brian Houston says, don't be fooled into thinking that you have the capacity to achieve your best on your own. A training partner in the gym is a great asset because when you think you have reached your limit, there's someone who can push you to go even further. A trainer. Today's prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for giving me the gift of food. Thank you for the gift. I pray that I can see it as a fuel source full of nourishment. Open my eyes to see that I'm training for a higher calling. I really love this one. This is like one of my favorites, and it was so perfect for what we were talking about today.
Yeah.
Isn't this crazy? Mm-hmm. We did not set this up. Everybody always goes, Monica, are you sure? No, we're real here. We did not set that one up. But that's the thing that we're always hoping is that, again, this is that collaboration that we can do that I'm stressing. Make it your fuel source. Don't look at it as, I need to be scared of it. And then all of a sudden, people are not eating at all. Their metabolism's slowing down. They're losing muscle. All those things happen. It's the cyclical thing going backwards. We're going to set you on the right course. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Jennifer, again, with Elemental Aesthetics. Go to elementalaesthetics.com for all for yourself and for others on your list. There's your phone number, and there's the website. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Tomorrow, by the way, speaking of men, as we talked about earlier about men's health, there's a gentleman. I was scrolling through social media. His name is Lee, and he is going to be my guest tomorrow. You're going to look at him and go, wow, what a good-looking guy. I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures of he's been a model for 30 years in the industry everywhere. A very successful model. Has a huge following on social media. He had a 7-minute video that stopped me in my tracks, and immediately I reached out to him and said, I've got to have you on my show. Thank you for being real. Thank you for being so raw. And he started to tear up, and he started to put this video out there for what he considered to be his own penance, to say, I need to own this. I lost my soulmate, but it's me. He said as a counselor actually called him an avoidant. I don't know if you've ever heard that category, avoidant. He'll tell us what that is. But there's been an incredible turn of events since he tried to shame himself of what happened in that relationship, which I think is really going to resonate with a lot of people. And as you go into the end of the year and you talk about better relationships, I'm hoping that this can help you, that you see yourself in the story, because thousands of people have made a comment on that initial video and said, thank you for putting this out there. He did it for himself and didn't realize how many people in the world he was going to be helping. So that's Thursday. And then Friday, we've got a young kid. His name is Carson. There was a story done on him actually by Channel 5, and his family reached out to me and said, I'd love to have him on the show. He has his own, like, he does all these Christmas lights. He's only 15, but he also does electricity all year long, runs these things. I mean,
my gosh.
right. Well, just think what you were doing at 15. This kid's a true entrepreneur. So we're going to have him on Friday, and we've got a new segment we are launching called The Barking Baker.
No, fun.
Trust me, you'll laugh your butt off. All right, it's with my babies as we make treats. But where it goes is absolutely hilarious. So it's a brand new segment. Just like yesterday, we launched Generational Talk. Some really cool new things coming on the show as we go into 2025. All right, everybody, some fun things ahead. All right, what we say all the time. I'm going to let you finish the last words. You better know them. In a world where you can truly go out and believe yourself and be anything, and do believe in yourself, find your way to your best life. But before you are anything, be kind.
Be kind. Sorry.
Watch. Jennifer watches the show, but you must not watch the last two words.
No.
So right there, if you can be anything, be
Be
kind.
kind.
There you go. God bless you all.